Today we're asking you to describe how many partners you're interested in having, including none at all, using some diagrams from sexual configurations theory. When we say partners, we mean anyone you might have a sexual and/or romantic relationship with. Some examples of the people you might think of would be intimate partners, casual hookups, significant others, or sexual partners. There's room on these diagrams to represent past partners, current partners, and even potential or future partners. There's also room to represent no interest in sexual or romantic partners. In sexual configurations theory, there are two parts to thinking about partner number: eroticism and nurturance. Eroticism refers to parts of sexuality related to bodily pleasure, orgasm, arousal, tantalization, and related concepts. So partner number eroticism is about the number of partners you're interested in being erotic with. Nurturance deals with aspects of sexuality tied to warm, loving feelings and closeness. So partner number nurturance is about the number of partners you're interested in being nurturant with. You can think of eroticism as lust or being sexual, and nurturance as love or being romantic. But we use eroticism and nurturance because these terms don't imply the same level of intensity or commitment as lust and love. One more thing about eroticism and nurturance is that they may occur together in a given situation, but they may also occur separately, or there may be no eroticism or nurturance. Some people might experience eroticism and nurturance towards the same people, so if that's the case for you, your partner number diagrams might look very similar, and that's okay. Some people might experience eroticism and nurturance towards different kinds of people, and then your partner number diagrams might look very different, and that's okay too. Okay, now that we've gone over some terms, let's get to the diagrams you'll be using in this study. This is the partner number diagram. It may look complicated at first, but we'll give you plenty of examples of how people might use it. It's important to remember that there's no one arrangement of partners that is more right or legitimate than another. So however you use the diagrams is the right way. Now we're ready to start with some examples.
Hi, my name is Lee. I prefer to have relationships with one person at a time. This diagram is asking about partner number eroticism, so I'll put a dot on the outside ring right at one erotic partner to represent that. This outside ring is called the binary ring. It represents interests that range from one partner to multiple partners. For me, nurturance and eroticism go together. I want to be both nurturant and erotic with any partners I might have. So for the nurturance diagram, I put a mark in the same location, right at one nurturant partner.
Hello, I'm Ed. I'm single and I've been casually dating. For the eroticism diagram, I put a mark with current near partner number openness because I'd be fine having sex with one person or multiple people. In the past, I prefer to have several different erotic partners, so I will place another dot closer to multiple erotic partners and write past. Notice these blue lines? These lines represent how specific your interests are. The mark from my past is near the most specific area, since I was particularly interested in having multiple erotic partners. Because I'm currently open to many different partner numbers, my current mark is in the area of least specificity. These lines are here to help make sense of the diagram, but no need to pay attention to them if they don't help. The nurturance diagram is a bit harder for me. I like being close to one partner if we're in a committed relationship, but for now, because I'm casually dating, I guess I'm more open to having warm feelings towards multiple people. So I shaded an area that captures this range and preferences.
Great, thanks for explaining those. There are just a couple more parts to this diagram to check out. In the middle of the diagram, we have the non-binary area. This is a space for you to mark interest in situations that do not clearly involve one or many partners. At the very center of the circle is openness to any partner number or any type of arrangement with those partners. Let's look at some examples of how people might use the non-binary area.
Hi, I'm Maggie, and I identify as a relationship anarchist.
For me, that means that I don't put my sexual partners, romantic partners, or friends into different groups of relationships.
I focus on how the people in my life interact with me instead of labeling that interaction. Because sex to me isn't tied to one or a group of people, I feel comfortable with having any number of erotic partners. I don't think this really fits with one erotic partner or multiple erotic partners, so I'll put my marker in the non-binary area, right in the middle at all erotic partners. This is my orientation. Your orientation is your general set of interests or what kinds of relationships you are usually drawn to. Nurturance works the same way as eroticism for me. I don't separate my nurturant relationships with all of my other relationships. I am comfortable with having any number of nurturant partners, so I'm going to put my mark in the same location, right at all nurturant partners.
Hello, my name is JJ. I'm in a committed relationship and we have threesomes with other people. Having threesomes is my preferred way of having sex, meaning it's my orientation. So it feels like I'm more on the multiple erotic partners side. So I'll put my dot closer to that side. My last relationship was monogamous, so my past status was at one erotic partner. Your status is what you actually do sexually or the way your relationships are in a particular time or context. It might overlap with your orientation, but it might not. For me, my current status is the same as my orientation because my preferred way of having sex, so my orientation, is the same way as what I'm actually doing sexually, my status, which is having threesomes.
Fantastic! Now that we're familiar with the binary ring and the non-binary area, let's talk about one more important area of the diagrams. The top part is called the challenge area. This is a space for you to represent interests and partner numbers that you understand as a challenge to the norm or a challenge to what is expected of you. Let's check out an example of how someone might use the challenge area.
Hello, my name is Alex. I'm polyamorous and I currently have 4 partners, but I'm only having sex with my main partner. I think that this challenges the expectation that polyamorous people have sex with all of their partners. So I put my marking in the challenge area, near one erotic partner.
Thanks for sharing, everyone. There are so many ways you can indicate your partner number sexuality using these diagrams. And people who have similar identities might place themselves differently. Like we said, there's no one right way to use the diagrams. Before we move on, there's actually one more piece to consider here. So not only do you have your location, but you can also indicate how important it is to you to have erotic or nurturant partners at all by using the strength dimension. Let's see how some of the people you just met would use this scale.
Hi, it's Ed again. As a reminder, I'm single and have been dating casually. I have a fairly high sex drive to be with other people, so being erotic with people is pretty important to me right now. I put a mark at 85% on the eroticism strength scale to indicate this. I was struggling a bit with describing my feelings towards nurturance earlier, but the strength scale really helps me make sense of this diagram. I identify as demi-romantic, which to me means that I do like being romantic with a partner, but only after I've developed a strong emotional connection with them. I'm not really looking for nurturing relationships with the people I'm dating right now, so I put a low mark on the nurturance strength scale at 10% for current. When I'm in a committed relationship with an emotional connection, nurturance with that person is a bit more important. So I also put a mark for relationships at about 60%.
Hello there, I'm Peter. We haven't met yet because I didn't put myself in the eroticism diagram earlier. As someone who is asexual, eroticism isn't really a factor in my partnered relationships. So, I put a mark at 0% on the eroticism strength scale and a mark at non-allo-erotic. However, I really enjoy the close, loving relationship I have with my current partner, who I marked as current at one nurturant partner. For the nurturance strength scale, my mark is at 95%, because nurturance is a very important part of my current relationship.
It's me, Alex again. To me, eroticism and nurturance are equally important in my relationships, and both matter to me quite a bit. So I put a mark at 90% for eroticism strength, and also put a mark on the nurturance strength scale at the same location, 90%.
And that's it. We've gone through all 3 diagrams we're asking you to fill out. Now it's your turn. As you saw, there are plenty of different ways to use the diagrams, and none of them are more right than any others. Just fill them out in whatever way makes most sense to you. Remember, you can use individual dots, multiple dots, shade areas, or any combination of these. You can also write text to help explain your locations. And don't worry, there will be reminders of all of this when you're filling out the diagrams.